Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the second election debate for the secretary position. I'm Nauman Ashraf, lifetime member from Joplin, Missouri, and member of the NEC for this year. I'm honored to be asked to moderate this session, and I welcome you all to the debate between Dr. Asif Muhyiddin and Dr. Humaira Kamar for the secretary position. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. I would like to thank the general membership for sending us questions for the debate, as well as member of the NEC committee who helped us out putting these questions together for tonight's debate. I would like to go over the TORs for this debate. We'll start in an alphabetical order with candidates first introducing themselves for 2 minutes each. And from there, we will rotate between the candidates to take the questions. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer the question and 1 minute for the rebuttal. At the end, I will ask the candidates to give their closing remarks, and we'll do that in a reverse alphabetical order. Candidates will have 2 minutes each for the closing remarks. I'll give 10-second warning to let you know that your time is up. We're strictly following the social distancing protocol today by keeping our candidates miles away from each other.
That's good.
So I would like to ask Dr. Asif Muhyiddin to please give his opening statement. You have 2 minutes.
Assalamu alaikum, APPNA members. My name is Dr. Asif Muhyiddin. I'm a lifetime member of APPNA since 2007. I'm running for Secretary of APPNA to 2022. First, I want to take this opportunity to remember the citizens who died in the September 11th attack and to send condolences to their families and pray for their souls. I'm an Orlando, Florida resident, a gastroenterologist. I own my GI practice. I've established recently a GI Research Institute. I believe APPNA is the most prestigious organization of Pakistani professionals in the world. I see APPNA as an asset for all of us. Global pandemic has disrupted past revenue cycles for APPNA. It is facing financial challenges, demanding new innovative ideas for revenue generation. If elected as APPNA secretary, I pledge to improve its finances with new ideas for revenue generation. I'm a leader and I'm an entrepreneur. And if elected, I want to help establish an APPNA Research Institute in collaboration with APPNA Merit and RISA committee, involving members with interest in research that will generate considerable revenues for both the organization and its members. It will also attract participation of American graduates and students. We need investment in innovation and technology. I propose an APPNA Incubator Institute with minimum budget, centrally run by APPNA, to promote development of technology like medical software and other smart biomedical devices. I propose setting up APPNA TV, through which we can do CME, board review, and virtual college lectures. We need to work on the 501c grant writing for APPNA to bring in grants and new revenues. We should change membership structures so we can encourage annual membership and more advancement of membership. I promise to provide honest, accountable leadership with transparency. I will promote civil harmony and interchange of scientific ideas. APPNA needs fresh ideas and a new energy. Please join me to make it happen. It's my honor and a privilege to present myself as a candidate for the position of Secretary of APPNA 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Asif Muhyiddin. Dr. Humaira Kamar, now I would like to ask you to give your opening statement. You have 2 minutes.
Good evening and Assalamu alaikum. Humaira Kamar here, your humble candidate for APPNA Secretary 2022. My dear APPNA family, the best predictor of any leader's performance is their record of service. And I've tirelessly strived towards the betterment of APPNA for the last 20 years. I am the founding president of Women Physicians of APPNA, past president of Florida chapter, past treasurer and member at large of APPNA, founding member and executive director of APPNA PEDS, and a member of APPNA's first medical mission to Bangladesh to help Rohingya refugees fleeing ethnic and religious cleansing. Most notably, it's been a true honor serving as your treasurer this year, successfully balancing APPNA's books and saving money through zealous oversight. As treasurer, I've introduced new innovative streams of revenue by creating both the e-Bazaar and e-Classified, APPNA's first income-generating online portals. In addition to ongoing merit seminars which generate CME. I've updated APPNA's financial policy and have had my budget unanimously approved by the APPNA Council twice this year. Under my leadership, much of APPNA's financial liability has been alleviated. We have successfully retired APPNA's line of credit, and profits from this year's post-COVID meetings exceeded all expectations. Moving forward, my vision for APPNA Secretary 2022 is one of progress and revitalization. As an active conduit for APPNA's communication, I will foster diligence, proper management, and careful record keeping.
10-second warning.
Any secretary is most useful to their organization when they actively shape their role to meet the unique structure and needs of the organization rather than filling a job description. Here, my greatest strength lies in my experience, knowledge, and deep understanding of APPNA, its complex yet brilliant kaleidoscopic network of component, auxiliary, and affiliate chapters, alumni groups, and how they all communicate together and how they all work together.
Thank you,
Join
Dr.
me, and let's do more and talk less. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opening remarks. We'll now move on to the Q&A section. So the first question for Dr. Muhyiddin is, what specific skill set do you possess to be in General Secretary leadership role? 2 minutes, sir.
The biggest asset I have is calm collective leadership. For an APPNA secretary, you need to be a glue, a cohesive glue for the organization, to work across the aisle between different societies. And I think I have that skill. I have run Dogana Institute, Dogana alumni with great fervor and with great service. I think my year of tenure in Dogana was really an amazing year for Dogana. And I have specific sets of skills that will make me a good leader. I have gone through training of leadership in Dogana, and I can bring that as a secretary in APPNA. I have broad support of different groups, and I can work across the aisle. I'm a consensus leader and a team builder. I can make it happen for APPNA as a secretary. I have good skills, good communication with many people and different committees. I can work across the aisle and bring transparency, honesty, and integrity to APPNA leadership. I've been involved in many different societies, and I think all that training and all that leadership will help me in making a good secretary for APPNA 2022. The biggest virtue is integrity and transparency, and that is what I will bring. I have good set of skills.
10 seconds, sir.
Resolution of conflict skills, and I think I'll make a great secretary.
Thank you, Dr. Muhyiddin. Dr. Qamar, I'll restate the question for you. What specific skill set do you possess to be in General Secretary leadership role? 2 minutes, ma'am.
So thank you for the question, Noman. The most important thing, for any leadership position, whether it's APPNA or our alumni or our hospitals or any professional organization, is leadership, the proven record of leadership. We can talk all we want that I'm this and I'm that, with due respect to my worthy opponent, but unless and until you've been in that position and you've proven yourself, you really are only speculating about your leadership skills. I have done that. I have been my chapter president. I've been my alumni treasurer. I started a brand new group, APPNA in APPNA. We started from scratch. I've been in various leadership positions in different hospital, committees and stuff. So I think my proven record of leadership, conflict resolution, moving forward with the position of understanding the other people's point of view and working across the aisle is my greatest strength. And most importantly, one of the things that is really works in my favor as a leader in APPNA is that I'm not affiliated with any particular group or any special interest group within APPNA. As you're all aware, unfortunately, APPNA is split into groups, and these groups work in, butt heads and work against each other, and that make the loser ultimately in that situation is APPNA. So in my opinion, my proven leadership skills, my ability to work with all people, being independent of any affiliation, working with minority groups with APPNA, like Women Physician of APPNA, are all in my favor.
10 seconds. Thank you, Dr. Kamar. Dr. Muhyiddin, you have 1 minute for the rebuttal.
Yeah, to my respected contestant, she's not yet a secretary. She was only a treasurer. I was the president of an alumni, which she could never be. I have had much more leadership role than she has had. I think her, being condescending and saying that, I'm just talking this and talking that is not true. I have had leadership track record. I have proven my leadership track record in Ghana and in other societies. So saying that I have no, experience or skill or leadership is not true. It is not always necessary to have, the leadership skills. You also need transparency, integrity, and honesty.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Dr. Kamar, you have 1 minute for the rebuttal.
So I apologize if I sounded condescending to Dr. Muhyiddin. He's my senior colleague, and I would never dare to be condescending to him or anybody else in APPNA. I really feel bad, and I apologize to him. Number one. Number two, I wasn't in any way disparaging him. I was just saying that, his experience is limited than mine because, for unknown reasons, Dr. Muhyiddin was not involved, has not been involved in APPNA Florida chapter also as a leader. I've lived in Florida for 20 years, and I started at member at large and worked my way up through treasurer, then secretary, then president. Then I worked as I'm currently in the board of trustees of APPNA Florida chapter also. So that was the reason I was mentioning Dr. Muhyiddin has not, for some reason, been involved in APPNA leadership at all. Number one. Number two, I was also mentioning that I have, talking about leadership, I'm already in the leadership position in APPNA as an EC member.
Thank you, Dr. Kamar. So the next question will go to Dr. Kamar. If COVID restrictions continue, how do you envision progress of APPNA and ideas of sustaining APPNA? You have 2 minutes.
That's an excellent question, Raman. We've all of us have been affected by this, terrible pandemic that has overtaken the world. Unheard of things have happened. All of us as physicians have had our, revenue streams shrunk by a large proportion. And that goes also with APPNA. So, APPNA, I'm very proud of APPNA that we adapted very quickly. Last year, 2020, when the pandemic first happened, the in-person meetings disappeared. And that used to be the major stream of revenue for APPNA in the past, up until recent past. But then we discovered, okay, so when I took over in January of 2021, 1st January, I made a detailed inventory of all the accounts and all the money that was in APPNA's account. And we needed some money quickly for the operating accounts, not for the ACCR account. APPNA has 16 accounts, which are managed by the treasurer and by Nick Saw. So the way I envisage that is we need to continue what we've already started doing. We quickly moved to online forums. We started doing Zoom meetings. We started doing Zoom CMEs. The Zoom CMEs have become the norm now. We all in our office also, we do Zoom meetings and Zoom. So we charge them for that. APPNA already does merit seminars and CMEs that we charge for. And so the best way to adapt would be make the meeting smaller, like we did this year in Orlando. It was a successful meeting because we made it smaller. We made it, we made sure that people were vaccinated. People came in and they were, we had at the site antigen tests available. We did that. And we also, so moving online, a lot of stuff. And then that's another thing that I started. I started online e-bazaar and online e-classified for the members. So people have been advertising online. So I'm also going to, so this also increased the morale of the APPNA member, right? We were like, all of us were depressed last year. So that increased the morale, we increased our bottom line, I increased our finances, and moving forward, we will continue to do that.
Thank you, Dr. Kamar. Thank you. Dr. Muhyiddin, I'll restate the question for you. If COVID restrictions continue, how do you envision progress of APPNA and ideas of sustaining APPNA? 2 minutes.
Man, the biggest challenge APPNA faced after the COVID hit was we lost the usual revenue sources. We lost the meetings that would create, good income and profit for APPNA. So I think we have to think innovatively. And as I said, the biggest problem has been generation of revenue. So we need to think outside the box. We need to think how to create grant writing and get federal grants for this association, which has been lacking. We need to also look at online TV, APPNA TV, through which we can use it as a vehicle to do lecture series, suppose in Pakistan, for say offering diplomas that are recognized by PMDC. We need to generate virtual classes, maybe do like a virtual internship for students, and maybe we should also do something about online of COVID clinics if we can, and see if there is any revenue in that. The biggest thing we can, of course, do is to move everything mostly online while these COVID problems continue. If we can do meetings, yes, it would be great. We have to cut down the attendees probably, and still try to generate any revenue from that. But the biggest thing is also to look at low interest loans and get PPE to help APPNA financially as we go through this difficult area. Dr. Humaira mentioned she created online bazaar. I think it needs improvement. I don't think it has created a lot of windfall or revenue.
Your time is up,
it
Dr.
can be improved, and I think that's what I would do, improve on that idea and do a better job on that.
Thank you, Dr. Muhyiddin. Dr. Kamar, you have 1 minute for the rebuttal, or if you want to add something.
So thank you very much, Numan, and thank you, Asif. Yeah, his ideas are fantastic, and but these are all ideas that we have, been, discussing already in our meetings and EC, and trying to come up with the best possible solution. Humans are very adaptable. So we all evolve. So we've evolved, like, humans have come up with courage that none of us knew that we were so courageous. And I'm so proud of APPNA for surviving, not only surviving, but surviving with our head held high. We are right now, as treasurer, I can tell you, we are all in black right now. Our accounts are all in black. None of our accounts are in red. And we were able to do all of this by virtual meetings, by smaller meetings, reaching out, giving each other support. Another thing that APPNA has really come up with is support groups have sprung up between different chapters and stuff. And we've also started online counseling sessions, which are done by our psychiatrists and our therapists. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kamar. Dr. Muhyiddin, you have 1 minute for the rebuttal.
Yeah, I mean, we have to do different things to help APPNA get along through this difficult times. And I think also delivering telehealth, if possible, especially in areas where there is lack of telehealth, may generate some revenues. And I think we have lacked as an organization in grants, applying for grants. I don't know why this has been a lack of concern by the APPNA leadership, but I think that there is a lot of money they're leaving out on the table from the feds and the state governments. And I think they should look into that and explore that area and see if we can have any funds for APPNA through grants.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Muhyiddin. So next question is for
May I add something, Dr. Ashraf?
Okay, yes.
I just wanted to bring it to everybody's attention that APPNA has applied for twice Paycheck Protection Plan, PPP, successfully. That has helped us last year. And the first PPP loan has been forgiven by the government. And the second one we are applying right now for forgiveness. So that did help. That generated a revenue stream for us.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Kamar. So next question goes to Dr. Mohyuddin. What plans and ideas do you have in mind to increase general membership during COVID? 2 minutes.
As it is, the membership is tough to get through, and now we have COVID, and it's going to be even harder. But the biggest thing that we lack as APPNA, organization is having value for that membership. Okay, we need to give value to that membership. We need to have young people join the organization, especially American grads, Caribbean grads coming in. That's where our future lies. So to make that happen, we need to make it enticing for them to be members of APPNA. So we can offer them, for example, shadow internship. We can offer them mentorship, taking skills for their interviews. And there have been certain programs that are going on that are really doing well. But if you entice them and give them something back as to entice membership, I think it would help. That is what these young people are especially looking for. They look up to APPNA to offer them something of benefit, and we have not much to offer. We have some summer meetings. We offer them some, few programs here and there, and then there's mostly a lull. There are few people here and there who are doing mentorship, for example, or interview taking skills. And I think if we somehow give them back something with that membership, I think there'll be more, ways of people getting involved. We need to possibly make the APPNA membership staggering payment.
10
not
seconds.
decrease the amount of money, but to stagger the payment so more people may be enticed to get into membership. We need to get in more annual members which pay for the expenses of APPNA.
Thank you, Dr. Mohyuddin. Dr. Kamar, I'll restate the question for you. What plans and ideas do you have in mind to increase general membership during COVID? 2 minutes, please.
So thank you very much, Numan, for this question. It's a very relevant question. Again, coming back to COVID and its ramifications and its fallout for all of us. I think the best thing you can do, in my humble opinion, to attract more membership to APPNA is to make APPNA a very viable, collegial, social ethno-professional organization. Unfortunately, in the last few years, 2 years especially, there was a lot of like I mentioned, APPNA groups infighting, which resulted in a lot of members getting put off from joining APPNA. So we have to do better than that. We have to improve ourselves. We have to show the Pakistani physicians out there that we are truly a selfless group of physicians working with no other motivation except to do what's best for the diaspora. We have to step up to it. And that is the best thing you can offer to physicians to become APPNA members. As far as Dr. Mohyuddin's point about offering mentorship and stuff to students and residents is concerned, this we already have it. There is a young physician committee. I don't know if you guys are aware of that or not. Doesn't look like Dr. Asif was. That is already working on it. They offer mentorships. I have done mentorships in my office. I have a private office, and through APPNA YPC, young residents who are applying for residency have come to my office and done mentorship. There is a very strong online Facebook group. They do mentorship, they do seminars, they do mentorship for interview training. The biggest problem was that these physicians, these residents, we are also giving them loans. There is a loan program also that APPNA runs. I have given loan to residents for taking their exams and stuff.
10-second warning.
So the thing is, we need to get the word out that APPNA is excellent. APPNA is doing an awesome job, and we need more of you to join us.
Thank you, Dr. Kamar. Dr. Mohyuddin, you have 1 minute for the rebuttal if you want to add anything.
Yeah, due to the political climate in APPNA, the membership has dwindled in the past. and things are looking better. We are heading towards a better direction now. And I think people are seeing the positive and the positive results thanks to Dr. Khalid and Dr. Dorani. So, I think there are some examples. Humaira mentioned one or two, maybe students she mentored, but there were also students who didn't want to be mentored by her. There are people who are grads who are going, for example, to some people in a DMV chapter, and they have done a great job, and they have done a great job in mentorship. So the basic idea is to give these people value for their membership, and I think that will change the dynamics of the membership.
Thank you, Dr. Mohyuddin. Dr. Qamar, you have 1 minute for the rebuttal.
So again, emphasizing that APPNA is doing an awesome job in these difficult times. We are trying our best. And thank you, Dr. Mohyuddin, for acknowledging that, APPNA EC has 5 members. So you only acknowledge 2 of them. So I will just chip in and try to take some credit also. So see, APPNA EC has done a tremendous job at the cost of sounding like, not very modest. I would like to say that on recorded line that yes, Dr. Khalid has done a tremendous job. He's the president. He has been very approachable. He's done a tremendous job leading us. But the rest of the EC, which includes myself, Dr. Durrani, Dr. Arshad Rehan, and Dr. Nahid Usmani, we have gone out of our ways to maintain a collegial, cordial atmosphere, which fosters open dialogue. In spite of our differences, we have worked together. And we have moved APPNA in the right direction. So we should be allowed to continue.
Thank you, Dr. Qamar. So next question will go to you, Dr. Qamar. What pros and cons do you see in the current code of conduct being implemented by the NEC and APPNA? 2 minutes.
Thank you, Numan. I like the current code of conduct. The couple of things. So basically what the main change that transpired was, because I ran an election last year also, was that this year the amount of time of electioneering has decreased, number one. Number two, there have been substantial changes in the way the candidates can campaign. So these are all positive things. The last year I was a victim of a terrible social media campaign to defame me, and it was very bruising and very traumatic for me. So I like it this year that social media has not gone rampant with all sorts of false rumor mongering and stuff. That's a plus. And the time has shortened, which I'm sure the members have all welcomed that. But my only thing with the thing that I would like to maybe get improved next year would be that there should be definitive written timelines for candidates. These things should not be left to people's imaginations, because people can interpret things differently. People should be told, okay, this is when your election season starts. This is when you can, you can or cannot do. So give dates in writing so that people are very, very firm and they understand what's happening. And it's not left up to people and say, oh, I didn't understand, or I didn't get this timeline or that timeline. So more definite timeline, written timeline. And I think in my humble opinion, that each candidate should be allowed at least one either text or phone call to each candidate. So we can introduce ourselves, and then people, underdogs who come from smaller alumni and stuff, can have an opportunity to interact with the members. So these are the 2 things I would like to get changed. Rest of it is fantastic.
Thank you. Dr. Mohyuddin, I'll restate the question. What pros and cons do you see in the current code of conduct? 2 minutes.
The biggest pro, I think, is that this is not a bruising campaign that people spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, rushed around the country, suited, booted, trying to, look good, and trying to get votes. There was a lot of wastage of money, I think, energy. So we were saved from all that, However, I get it. I get it why NEC did some of the things they did. It was very intrusive. People got robocalls. They got woken up in California, in the middle of the night when robocalls went there. So I understand what they were trying to do. However, I think shutting down social media, which is non-intrusive, If I put something on a Facebook page, what difference does it make to anybody? How did I invade their privacy? I did not. Okay. The cons to this is that people like me suffer from it. I abide by the rules. I play with honesty and integrity. However, Dr. Humera was texting right off the bat. She did that last year. And she says last year was a brutal campaign against her. I think it was a very civil campaign. And I think the last gentleman she faced was an honorable gentleman. But, this is not fair that she's texting. Yesterday, she sends her CV to my friends. And when you're going to ask her, she says, oh, I did not know. Oh, were we not supposed to send our CV? Now I am behind. She's gotten the lead. Now there is no mechanism for that to be, that I can get back that lead and that things that she has already taken advantage of. You ask her, she'll say, oh, I did not know the Constitution. She is the leader of APPNA. She calls herself honorable leader of APPNA. She's the first one always to break the rule. So she should be the more responsible.
Thank you, Dr. Mohyuddin. The time is up. Thank you. Dr. Qamar, you have 1 minute for the rebuttal.
Thank you very much, Noman. So I'm sorry that Dr. Mohyuddin, this is his first campaign and he already sounds very bitter. I do apologize if his feelings are hurt, but unfortunately the way things are in APPNA, yesterday the email had gone out about the APPNA Central NEC had sent our resumes and our video. So that was sent out. So I'm not sure what exactly he's mentioning, but I'm not going to get into personal platitudes and accusations and counter accusations, because again, this is counterproductive. It doesn't get us anywhere. This is what leads. We were just talking about why people don't become APPNA members. This bitter back and forth is what causes people to get put off and not become APPNA members. So I would humbly request Dr. Mohyuddin to please pick up the phone and call me. I'm happy to talk to him anytime. I have tried to call him a few times, but he didn't pick up my phone. I would be very happy to sit down with him and smooth things out and hopefully, smooth out some of the ruffled feathers he has. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Mohyuddin, you have 1 minute for the rebuttal.
There's a very clear code of conduct implemented on January 1st. She was part of that, and she knew very well the entire rules and regulations of NEC. She was the first one to break it last year, first one to break it this year. Then she was cited. Then she sends her CVs right after the slate is announced. When she's challenged, she says, oh, the slate is announced, so what's the big deal? But I think that the code of conduct says you cannot call anybody, you cannot text, you cannot send anything from your phone. And that's very, very clear. There's nothing bitter about it. I'm only bringing up the point, and she wants to shut me up by putting me as a bitter, contestant. I'm not bitter. I have nothing bitter against you or anything personal against you. I'm just bringing up the fact, letting the membership know what goes on and how you play the game.
Thank you, Dr. Mohyuddin. So the next question is for you, Dr. Mohyuddin.
May I do a rebuttal or no?
I think we've already exhausted that option.
So I just have one quick comment to make, and then I promise I will let you proceed. And that is that, so Dr. Mohyuddin, I also wanted to mention that your opponents have been, posting all over social media. Like today, if you pick up the phone, I picked up the phone all over social media and WhatsApp groups. Your pictures are plastered all over about what a great candidate you are. I didn't pick up the phone and call NEC chair. I didn't, feel bitter or anything. I understand that sometimes these things, your supporters do. And you gave an interview to a WhatsApp group, which was not allowed. And I think that was wrong also. So, so please don't assume like an innocent demeanor. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
So Dr. Kaur, to be fair, I'll give you 30 seconds too, Dr. Mohyuddin.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be an innocent chicken and, say, oh, I did nothing. The interview that she's mentioned was done much before this whole thing happened. Okay, it was not intended to be any candidate type of interview. I did not announce my candidacy. She announced her candidacy back in July after she signed the code of conduct. This was totally not allowed in the code of conduct. She texted people, oh, please vote for me. And I'm running for secretary. When she was confronted, she said, oh, I'm only looking for nomination. Okay, nomination had already gone in, and she had texted after that.
Thank you, Dr. Muhyiddin. Okay, we'll move on to the question number 5 that goes to Dr. Muhyiddin. Where do you see APPNA in next 5 years? 2 minutes.
APPNA is a great organization. It's an asset. I agree with Humaira. There should be no back and forth bickering, but it happens for some reason, and I told you the reasons. I want to take APPNA to a new height, a new level. I wanted to open new chapters that have not been opened. We talk about research a lot in APPNA, but there is really no research. I want to organize an APPNA Institute of Research. I want to have members do research and be collaborative with APPNA, and there's going to be a lot of revenue for APPNA doing that. I want to have an incubator of technology where we would have software development programs for medical and other related, industry, like smart devices for healthcare. I want to take APPNA where there is harmony, there's new cable enforced, there is ideas of, medical ideas, research ideas, where people are having, promoting transparency, good conduct. And, APPNA has yet to, we are only scratching the surface of APPNA. We have to have a lot more to do. There is a grant writing we could use to do, and have more windfall of profits for APPNA through grant writing, which has not been, undertaken. There are many things we can do to make this organization great. And I want to be there to do that. And I want to have that opportunity from you all. And I think that
10 seconds.
the biggest thing, the biggest virtue I have to take it there is working across the aisle. I'm a consensus candidate, and I'm liked by many people. And I think I can take it to a new level.
Thank you. Dr. Kamal, I'll restate the question for you. Where do you see APPNA in next 5 years? You have 2 minutes.
So I'm a very optimistic person. I always, so far, being in the EC and being involved in the APPNA line the last 20 years, I've definitely seen an upward movement of APPNA, thanks to the current EC, and then the events transpiring in the last few years have vanished. All the lawsuits are gone, and APPNA is in a positive place. And we need to keep the momentum going. We need to elect leaders who are in the know-how, who can get along, who are not candidates brought in by different groups. Like I'm an independent candidate, but there are people who are brought in by the candidates are brought in by different groups. Like in the summer meeting, there was like a lot of back and forth going on. So my contention is that APPNA has the tremendous potential of moving up. We have to not only move ahead with better medical education in USA, but also better medical education in Pakistan. APPNA should be thinking of building a hospital in Pakistan, which will train residents over there and ultimately turn that into a medical school. It's a very profitable venture in Pakistan. I'm sure you all know that private medical schools generate a lot of income for APPNA members. To the owners. And then if APPNA is a stakeholder, and we get some private partnership involved, and we open an APPNA hospital and then subsequently a medical school, that will be tremendous. And yes, Dr. Muhyiddin's idea is good of research, but which is a little bit more tricky though, because for research you need a research institute, and which of course can be done, but is more tedious and more difficult to achieve. So definitely branch out. APPNA needs to branch out into more like surgical centers. Definitely open a hospital and teaching hospital in Pakistan. It will generate a lot of goodwill in Pakistan for APPNA and also generate revenue.
Thank you, Dr. Kamar. Dr. Muhyiddin, you have 1 minute for the rebuttal.
Yeah, I think I just want to make it clear that I'm a candidate that was brought in by Dogana. That I want to put that out for the record. Having said that, I think one thing that we lack is representing the interests of Pakistan and Pakistanis overall. Yes, there is advocacy, but I think we can do more. Look at our neighbor. Look at how they have, taken over this administration. We need to create leaders. We need to create, uh, students that will join health organizations, government organizations. We need to do much more. We need to have better representation of
10
the
seconds.
common Pakistani person that is suffering economically, and I think we can do a better job representing Pakistan.
Thank you, Dr. Muhyiddin. Dr. Qamar, you have 1 minute.
So again, going back to, ultimately it all boils down to finances, Noman. And APPNA has to do well financially in order to achieve these goals that we are all talking about. It's all, good to talk about these things, but if you don't have the money. So like, I'll give you an example. Before COVID, in 2019, there was a meeting held in Orlando, APPNA annual meeting. This was before COVID. And that meeting went into loss. And money had to be borrowed from APPNA Foundation and then from a future meeting to be able to make it profitable. In 2018, APPNA summer meeting generated a profit of 500K. And in 2019, the very year after that, which was chaired by my esteemed opponent, APPNA lost money in the meeting. So this was not a good thing for APPNA. This was before COVID. So we can't even blame COVID for that. So we need to make sure that APPNA's financial health has to be on very, very stable footing before we make any plans. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Qamar. So next question will go to you, Dr. Qamar. Tell us about 2 of your best attributes and 2 areas where you would like to improve yourself. 2 minutes.
Thank you, Numan. So basically, I think we are all ultimately human. So we all have our pluses and minuses. In my mind, my greatest strength lies in my, the way I work hard, the way I'm detail oriented. And I always make sure that, any project that I take, I finish it, and sometimes I get so bogged down with the details, but I always want to make sure that I finish things. So that is actually a weakness. My other strength is my propensity to work hard and to work with people across all aisles and schools of thought. In other words, like say, I'll give you an example. In the EC right now, we have 5 different individuals and we all have different viewpoints, right? So whenever there an issue comes up, I make it a point to listen, not just hear. There's a difference between hearing and listening. I listen, I hear, I pay heed, and I do my best to accommodate everybody's point of view. And that has helped tremendously in moving APPNA in the right direction. So my greatest strength lies in being a hard worker, being meticulous, making sure that I finish things on time. I think my greatest weakness, Noman, is that sometimes, like I just mentioned, I get so bogged down with the details that because I'm looking at the bigger picture, that I end up, I have sleepless nights. When I took over as APPNA treasurer, I was on my computer till 3 o'clock in the morning, looking at all the numbers and making sure that, since I'm a perfectionist, okay, I have to make sure this is done right, this is done right. So I will be up to 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, calling Nick the next day. But the best part of that was that I was able to get a handle very quickly on the APPNA's finances and move them in the right direction.
10 seconds.
So that is really, again, like I said, my weakness is getting bogged down with too much detail at times. And then hence, I don't know if you want to call it a weakness or a strength.
Thank you, Dr. Kaur. So Dr. Muhyiddin, I'll restate the question. Tell us about 2 of your best attributes and 2 areas where you would like to improve yourself. 2 minutes.
I think I want to go back for a minute before I answer that. I have a research institute that I established. Doing research is not tricky. Yes, it's detail oriented. She wants to build a hospital, but she thinks research is tricky. It's not. Research can be done in the right way with the right staff and the right personnel, and I think it would be very profitable for APPNA. Number 2, she calls the 2019 meeting loss. She was part of that meeting. She was also, part of the host committee. The meeting was challenged by very, very diverse, political chaos, and people booked hotel rooms and then they canceled, and we had to shift around a lot. So I think it was a great thing that we did not have, too much loss, because when you book and cancel rooms like that, then it would be probably the membership gave us a message, and we accept that. But having come back to that, my biggest virtue is my biggest strength, I think, is that I'm a leader. I'm a fearless leader. I'd never ever back down from telling the truth the way it is, take it or leave it. My weakness is that I'm too honest and I'm too transparent. People take advantage of that. It happened in this election. Just I told you the example of that. I was honest, I was abiding by the rules, and I was burnt by that. So that could be also a weakness, that my honesty sometimes hurts me.
10 seconds. Okay. Well, thank you, Dr. Mohyuddin.
May I say something, Noman?
Yes, you can go for the rebuttal. Yeah.
So basically, I appreciate Dr. Mohyuddin's honesty in admitting, he definitely is an honest man. He admitted that he was brought in by a group of alumni, which I am not. I'm a completely independent, unaffiliated, candidate who has the only motivation for me is to do what's best for APPNA. I was not brought in by any alumni group or any hidden groups that, traverse the halls of APPNA meetings at night. Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Mohyuddin, do you want to say something? You have 1 minute.
No, I mean, I have no fear in saying that I'm a Dogana, person. She probably does not have the footing or a ground to say that. She could never become president of an alumni. So maybe she doesn't have that support. I do. And I have support of many, many other groups. She can call them fringe groups. She can call them dark lurking people at night. To me, they are all APPNA members. They are esteemed members. I respect them, whether they are APPNA reformed, whether they are in APPNA list, whether they are in United, it doesn't matter to me. They're all my friends, and I respect every one of you. Every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so the next question for you, Dr. Mohyuddin, how can you improve the communication and enhance the accessibility between members and the executive administration? 2 minutes, please.
The 501c always has challenges, and one of the challenges is communication. I think we need to look into, there was a great article by Forbes on this magazine, and they talked about how 501c can improve communication between its membership. We need to have a sustainable an officer, a chief officer hired, whose biggest job would be to communicate with, to have membership view communicated to the administration, because we lack that. Administrators are busy running the administration. The membership is mad in many ways, and there's very, sometimes bitter, feeling among the members. I think we need to have an officer who can communicate and show the administration what is the feeling that the general membership has towards APPNA. And that insight would help create better communication. As a secretary, I would also be communicating, if I am elected, with the membership in a better way. I think there should be more improved communication between APPNA members and, for example, better minutes, meeting of minutes, better record keeping, having the minutes on the website in a secure portal, things like of that nature, where communication can be improved. I think we need to have a positive communication with our membership.
Thank you. Dr. Kamar, I'll restate the question. How can you improve the communication and enhance the accessibility between members and the executive administration? You have 2 minutes.
So basically, Noman, like I said, the best communication, we are all humans ultimately. The best communication is when we all talk to each other. And I'm very good at that. That is I forgot to mention that one of my greatest strengths is that ever since I've become treasurer, I did not disappear when I became the treasurer last year. I took the time to call members randomly, not my friends, and a lot of them were people who didn't even vote for me and that Dr. Mohyuddin is upset about, I would just call them and say, look, I'm the treasurer this year. I was given a very difficult task. I'll be honest with you, Numan, when I took over, it was very overwhelming. And like I said, I would be up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, crunching numbers to help get out of this. To 2019, the main, for APPNA's main focus always has been, these are our revenues generated by meetings, right? You know that. So 2019, there was zero income from the summer meeting, which is the main revenue generator. And Dr. Mohyuddin just accepted that, yes, people were mad at APPNA because of the political infighting, so they didn't bother to show up. And he didn't do too much to help alleviate these concerns. Yes, I was a member of the, I was the CME chair and I conducted the CME, and it was one of the few CMEs that was very successful. And in fact, one session was completely devoted to women's health, which I conducted for the first time in the history of APPNA. But ultimately, the responsibility lies with the chair of the host committee, which he was, and he himself accepted that APPNA lost money in 2019. 2020 was a washout. So when I took over, APPNA didn't have any operating income. So here I am scrambling, trying to figure out, okay, how can we make do? So, ended up borrowing money from the lifetime dues, and then which are now I'm in the process of paying back. So the best way of as far as the meeting minutes are concerned, all the meeting minutes are taken by the secretary, which I will be doing inshallah when I become the secretary, and they're all posted on the member login part of the APPNA website. So this is not a secret.
Thank you, Dr. Qamar. Dr. Mohyuddin, you have 1 minute for the rebuttal.
Yeah, she mentioned again that 2019 was a loss of revenue. There are meetings that have lost money in the past, but for the record, this was one of the best entertainment that people had, one of the best food that people had, the best enjoyable meeting that they had. We had good local turnout. We had local leaders and healthcare CEOs from local hospitals who really appreciated and saw our culture, what show we can put up. We had a great artists that very rarely come and perform like they did. So I think it was a very good meeting. She was part of it.
Thank you. Dr. Qamar, you have 1 minute for the rebuttal.
So, I'm not really going to put out rebuttals over and over again, Noman. Basically, the bottom line is that, if you look at the bigger picture, all the plans, all the grant schemes we make will not pan out if APPNA is not doing well financially. That's the bottom line. And after 2019, unfortunately, 2020 was a washout. APPNA was in dire financial straits. It was difficult to meet ends meet. And I played my part. I'm not going to take all of the credit, of course, Nick and the bookkeepers and stuff. But I worked very, very, very hard to make sure that we get out of this hole, which we have, inshallah, moving forward. APPNA EC will continue to be collegial, work with each other. It is important for APPNA EC to get along and
10 seconds.
And understand each other's point of view. So I'm very optimistic about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question for you, Dr. Qamar. If elected, how will you promote harmony if there are challenges and difference of opinions in the team? 2 minutes.
So like I just mentioned, Noman, the best thing is, this is what I found working in hospital, in leadership positions, in APPNA, in WAPNA. I'd also started a Pakistani American Cultural Society interfaith group. I've created several organizations. And what I find really is that leaders have to be humble. They have to listen and they have to be humble. When leaders start believing that somehow they are brought in by groups, whether it's alumni or any groups, and then hence we are not responsible for, so this is what's called othering of other groups, right? So you're a psychiatrist, so you know that. Or in your mind, if you other others and say, oh, I'm from this alumni, I'm from this strong alumni. And by the way, Dr. Mohyuddin is not brought in by the whole alumni, he's brought in by a group within alumni. So he should not claim that he's brought in by the whole alumni and there were demonstrations outside people's houses asking him to run. He came of his own free will. Number one. Number two, we need to take responsibility as leaders. We have to listen. We have to calm down, listen, be each other's back. Like this year, I've learned did a tremendous teamwork. I'm so proud of Dr. Rizwan Khalid, Dr. Haroon Durrani, Dr. Nahid Usmani, and Dr. Arshad Rihan, and myself. Anytime there was any type of a conflict within, we all got on the phone with each other and we talked to each other. We explained each other's point of view. And whenever there was need for room for improvement in somebody's actions, we did that. And whenever we felt like strongly about something, we did that. But we ultimately respected each other. And that was what was lacking, Numan, before I took over. I'm not sure what transpired in 2020, but I can tell you right now, 2021 has been a tremendous year for APPNA because of mutual respect and empathy for each other and empathy for each other's points of view. This is what we need in APPNA. Ultimately, this is what matters. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Muhyiddin. I'll restate the question. If elected, how will you promote harmony if there are challenges and difference of opinions in the team? 2 minutes, please.
I'm a consensus leader. I can work across the aisle. I'm well liked by many people. If there are any differences of opinion, I will sit them down. I'll talk to them. The biggest thing that people will listen to you is if they trust you. You have, as a leader, you have to have trust building, which we lack. Okay, we have to listen to them. We have to listen to both the parties and solve the conflict. There are, many conflict resolutions that are going to be coming up. And I think that as having a personality that I have, and the leadership qualities that I have, and the consensus building characteristic, and the fact that people listen to me, and that they know that I'm honest and I'm truthful and I'm trustworthy. I think, having that quality and those features will help me in resolving conflicts among APPNA members. That is one of the roles of the secretary. And I think I can play it very well because of the qualities that I have, because of the experience that I have as Dogana leader. When I had my year of Dogana presidency, it was without any conflict. If there were any conflicts, I sat with them, I took care of it, and we did not have any major issues that year. So I think I can bring that quality down into APPNA. And I think with my track record, I think I can do a good job.
Thank you. So we're going to skip the rebuttal on this since we are approaching the hour. I would now request Dr. Qamar to give her concluding remarks. You have 2 minutes.
I want to take this opportunity to thank the NEC and the APPNA EC. My dear APPNA family, I have served APPNA for 20 years. Most notably, it's been a true honor serving as your treasurer this year and successfully balancing APPNA's books and saving money through zealous oversight. Moving forward, my vision for APPNA Secretary 2022 is one of progress and revitalization. As an active conduit for APPNA's communication, I will foster diligence, proper management, and careful record keeping. Any secretary that through times of growth and stagnation, I have squared my shoulders and gotten to work as a leader, advocate, and activist. I will continue to serve APPNA with honesty, integrity, perseverance, and hard work. I will remain accessible and accountable to all members, not just to those who vote for me, but also to those who don't. I wholeheartedly believe that our mission of unity is far more important than any group or identity politics. As an independent candidate, not affiliated with any special interest group within or outside of APPNA, I will use my vote in the EC responsibly and honestly, and will always vote for APPNA and for all its members. I'm poised to make the tough and necessary decisions for institution building, not personal gain. Through maintaining an open, direct line of communication with our membership, I've cultivated an atmosphere of cooperation and collegiality. As treasurer, I have gotten to know so many of
10
you,
seconds.
sharing ideas, fielding concerns, and taking questions. My dear colleague, we have accomplished so much together. Let's keep the momentum going. तू शाही है, परवाह है काम तेरा. तेरे सामने आसमां और भी हैं.
Thank you,
Vote
Dr.
Humera Qamar for APPNA Secretary 2022. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Muhyiddin, your closing remarks, you have 2 minutes, please.
Dear members, I want to thank you all for listening to this debate. As election approaches, I want you to take time and judge all the candidates without bias of gender or ethnicity, and then choose the best among us. I want you to Google each of us and our backgrounds. I'm a leader with proven track record. I was president of the largest alumni in APPNA, the Dow Medical College, with 1,000+ members. We worked for our alumnus and improved their lives here. We managed many charity programs like setting up labs for indigent population in civil hospital, Pakistan. We sent relief to Pakistanis in need of time during disaster. If elected as secretary of APPNA, I want to take APPNA to new levels in the next few years, using my entrepreneur skills to establish an APPNA Research Institute, APPNA Incubation Program for technological development that will help generate revenue for the organization that it lacks at this time. I want to promote use of blockchain technology to create EMR programs in the medical field, creating streams of revenue that APPNA had not seen before. The global pandemic has created huge challenges for 501c organizations like APPNA that we need to overcome by new systems such as grants, APPNA TV with virtual colleges for medical lectures, for diplomas in Pakistan, virtual mentorship, virtual online shadowing program, similar to one I implemented as the Ghana president for students to find mentors in the United States. Your vote will decide what path APPNA will take in the next few years. So please vote cautiously. If you want an honest leader who's fearless to tell the truth with a clean track record, no history of medical fraud, then please vote for me. If you want integrity,
10 seconds.
integrity, transparency, and moral values in APPNA, then I am the one that you want to vote for. Please not only vote for me as a secretary of APPNA 2022, but please join me to take APPNA to a new heights. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Asim Muhyiddin. Thank you, Dr. Humera Qamar, for being part of this democratic process and giving us your vision for the next year. I wish you both good luck. Thank you all for joining and listening to these candidates. Thank you, Nick and Laik, for your help. This concludes our session for today. Inshallah, we'll see you tomorrow. Pakistan Zindabad, long live America, long live APPNA.
Thank you,
Thank
Naman.
you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.